Hey y'all, welcome back to the vlog. Tomorrow's 4th of July, so today I'm going to be prepping a brisket to cook. And we're going to start cooking it tonight so that we can eat it tomorrow for lunch. So it's a pretty big brisket. It's 17 pounds. And it was a little pricey, but this is the prime grade. And I got it from the local butcher, so this is hormone-free, no antibiotics. Colorado Happy Cow. People say that you lose half of the total weight when you cook it. So we're gonna test that and make sure that, if this is 17 pounds, that means that, when it's finally cooked, it's only gonna weigh about 8.5. So we are gonna take a few pounds off, just of fat, and then we are gonna cook it, and then tomorrow we'll see if it is indeed close to around 8.5 pounds. So we're gonna weigh it. So it's 17 pounds. And we're gonna start prepping this bad boy. So right here we're at about 260. This one's a little bit under 250. We can bring up the temps right now. I'm gonna add another log. Right here we can just shape it so. This area should be pretty protected just because of the way the fire comes in out of the smokestack. This area shouldn't be getting the most heat. It's not going to be getting that much. Son helping me carry the wood. Hey, we're not done, son. Come back. Where are you going? You got more room there. Can you do another one? There we go. This is a good one. There you go. So this is hickory. Some of them aren't as dry as I want to. That's why they're out here in the sun. So I want to get some that are pretty good to go. All right. So this is where we want to be. We want to be about 275. So right now the temperature's right where we want it to be. It was getting a little bit too hot, so I kind of moved one lug out of the way. And I think that's like the hardest part about having an offset cooker. And that's why I think a lot of people choose, a Traeger grill. Or an electric smoker, just because it's a lot of work to just be looking at a fire, be feeding a fire, but most importantly to maintain the temperatures that you want. So if we want to be at 275, it's always calculating what the fire's going to be doing in 10 minutes and 15 minutes, and also what each piece of wood you have is going to do. So if this one's a little bit on the greener side or a little bit more dense, it's going to take a little bit longer to catch. So if I know that my temperatures are going down, to 250, and I throw this one in there, then it's going to take a little bit longer for it to go up to 275. And you just want to get a good coal bed going, and then like every 10, 20, 30 minutes, just be throwing little logs in there, and then kind of just sitting around and seeing what happens. And I think at the end of the day, it's worth it. It's going to be worth it because you're going to get a superior taste in the food, and I think it's something that can be mimicked. And especially being from South Texas, we have a lot of parties, and we're talking about chicken, fajitas, anything. You know that you have to cook them outside. You have to cook them with mesquite. You have to cook them high temperature, and you can't mimic that. It doesn't matter if you use a Traeger. It's going to be a lot harder to get that natural wood smoke and just that that just, it's a flavor that really can't be imitated. So now we're going to get ready to season the pork butt right here. And again, this is I got at the butcher, so it's a very happy pig. You can tell just for like the way you see the top. A lot of times you can't find a pork butt that has the whole top on. Sometimes it's just like they kind of just, it's half of it's missing, so it's good that it's all there. So here's a brisket. The brisket's only been in like an hour and a half, so it's starting to get a little bit of color, but still needs a long way to go. This one's gonna put next door neighbor right here. This is a bone in, so it has a bone right here. Not that way. So we're 7.5 hours in, and here's the pork butt. In the back I put the brisket. I wanted to get a little bit more heat, so I moved a little bit forward. Still spraying it, especially the front area. So we're gonna wrap. I ran out of the heavy duty aluminum foil, so it really stinks. And over here we have, man, Brisket looking good. So we're smoking about 3 hours, and these two, after 2 hours, so for an hour and a half, they were facing down. I wanted to see if they got more color than the ones that were facing up, and it looks like it did get a little bit darker. So let me know what y'all think right here. So for the ribs, all I did was spray them down with water before I wrapped them. Later on, I do want to try like butter and, you know, apple juice, you know, and some people put honey with, you know, brown sugar. But for this time, I just kind of wanted to try them just with the flavor of the smoke, which was pecan, which is what I used. And I just think it goes really well with pork. I've done all the woods. I've done, you know, mesquite, hickory, oak, you know, you name it. And I just think with pork, I just think that pecan is better. And even the pork butt was cooked with hickory, and I would have preferred pecan. I just think it has like a really sweet flavor. And right now we're going to see the weight of the brisket, and I think it's important to know that you're going to lose like 50%, because like if you're going to cook for X amount of people, then you want to know like, oh, if I buy a 50-pound brisket, that doesn't mean I can feed 30 people if they eat half a pound each. So we just stayed with 8 pounds, as you can see right here, and we started with 17, and we trimmed off 3 pounds. The ribs were 14 pounds, and we stayed with 10, and the pork butt was 10, and we stayed with 7 pounds. So the pork lost 30%, and the brisket lost 50%. And here's the finished product: brisket and the ribs and the pork butt. Everything came out really good. For the first time cooking on my custom smoker, everything came out really good. There are little things that I know that I need to do a little bit better, but as you can see right here with the brisket cutting in half, it had a lot of moisture. You had a lot of fat that rendered really good. So, you know, there's not a lot to improve on, but I do want to get better, just because in the future I do want to cook for people. And, you know, it's going to be a learning curve, especially with a new smoker. But it was awesome. Like, I can't say anything bad about the smoker. It's all about, you know, how you cook on it, right? It's not something that the cooker can do wrong. So everything came out pretty delicious, and I even gave some to my neighbors. They're always happy when I cook out, because they get to eat, and you know, they're also the guinea pigs and all that. So it's always good. And so if you guys like the video, let me know what you guys think of the food, and you know, just drop me a comment.